Today is 878 and I'm here at Lessons to Learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about failures. Very, very small, tiny failures. And how much that could impact your life. Yesterday we covered small, tiny wins and how that potentially could change your life, and small, tiny things could lead to massive, massive achievements. Today we'll focus on small, tiny failures that could lead to massive disappointments. Now, of course, we understand that failures is an amazing tool to learn. It's an amazing tool to opportunity to improve, get better, to build resilience, and everything in between is positive. But if we are not careful, if we use that tiny failure as a negative thing, that could be very detrimental for our future. So at the end of the day, failure is a very interesting thing. When, of course, everyone will use for positive. One person will use in more powerfully. Other person will maybe neglect their win because I didn't deserve it. But you will never be able to use for negative things. Well, failure is one of the most beautiful things because failure is your choice. You're able to choose for positive things or able to choose to negative things. So today we'll focus more on the negative side. So what happens? What happens when you really focus on a failure, a small, tiny failure, as a negative thing? I could tell you right away that every single setback, failure, mistake could be used as a positive, but it's a choice, and some people choose in the wrong way. So number one is when you choose wrongly, when you take tiny failure as a negative thing, you potentially first is you can lose confidence. And that tiny confidence loss could really build momentum, and you lose and lose and lose confidence until your confidence is very, very low. And that, of course, will not allow you to pursue the things that you want. Number two is fear of taking risks. This is part of having loss of confidence. Lack of confidence, of course, it reduces your ability to take risks. So the lower the confidence, the lower the risk taking. So that means that when we are fearful taking risks, of course, we're not taking risks, we do not get any more results. Number three is negative self-image. Negative self-image. And this is one thing that a lot of times people choose to have, is that they really put that failure on themselves, on identity. This is not just I made a mistake, but I am a mistake. It's not that just I failed. No, I'm a failure. And this is it's a terrible thing. When we choose to use a failure as a part of identity, and as we will never need to use that. And even with the win, we don't supposed to put on identity. We say that I win, I succeeded, but this is I'm not the person. That means that's you always keeps you humble, always wants to improve, always wants to get better. Exactly like with failure. So the more you put that failure on yourself, the lower self-image will be. Number four is stagnation and avoidance. Stagnation and avoidance. So that means when small, tiny loss, failure, you then lose a second time. Or maybe in a second time you don't want to take that. That means you are stagnating at the same place because you avoid taking action. You're afraid to lose again. You're afraid to make mistake again. And you start to live in avoidance mode. And what happens? That means that you are stagnant while you avoid. So it's very, very important to get out of that fear of taking risks and really start putting step after step forward that you can really build that up, your confidence, and really move forward. Number five is impact on mental health. Mental health. It might be that you always were winning, and finally you lost. That could be a first potential loss that you ever had, that you ever made, that you ever did some kind of failure that you never did because you are always succeeding whatever you do. So it could be it's challenging to overcome that understanding how to handle a failure, how to handle a mistake, how to handle disappointment. Again, this is an intentional thing that I will work on this, I will improve, I will get better. And this is very important to understand that there will be a small impact on mental health. But of course, if you will be mindful, present, and you will understand what it is and will be able to get out of it right away, there will be no negative impacts from that. Number 6 is loss of motivation. Loss of motivation. It might be that you wanted to achieve something, you wanted to pursue something, but now because you failed, that motivation is not there anymore for some reason. And why is that? Why is that? Why the motivation is gone? Maybe you don't believe that it's possible anymore. But that's loss of motivation could come from all different reasons. Maybe you're just afraid, and that will not happen for you specifically. For other people, yes, but not for you. I think that is a terrible place to be when you start losing motivation. And a lot of times we need to understand that not the motivation is important. Just a lot of times discipline is more important than motivation, because when motivation means off, a discipline needs to kick in. So if you fail once, we need to reflect why we failed and really pursue second time, third time, fourth time, because a lot of times when we think about shooting in the basket, you miss one time, it doesn't matter. Like, you will shoot second, third time, and it will hit the ball. It will hit the basket. Number 7 is impact on relationships. That means that if you made a mistake, you failed, at that moment, you might be that you will not be the best positive person to be around. And that potentially could really impact your relationships. It could be with friends, it could be significant other, with parents, because you are not yourself at the moment. You need to be very careful not to put your disappointment and failure and mistakes and everything how you feel onto other people, because that could have massive, terrible impact if you do that. Number 8 is missed opportunities. Missed opportunities. And we already covered that when you failed, sometimes you don't believe that it's for you anymore, and you lost the motivation, you have fear of action, you start to avoid taking action because you're afraid of making mistakes. And because of that, like, amazing opportunity could come into your face, and you say, no, I'm afraid to take action. I'm afraid to take opportunities. I'm afraid to fail again. And you potentially could miss opportunities. And this is powerful, because that opportunity could you transform your life. And we need to be okay to really not avoid it and really take action towards it. Number 9 is repeated setbacks. Repeated setbacks. That means that if you really not decide to learn from a mistake, not learn from failure, that could potentially lead to repeated failure, repeated mistake, repeated setback. So it means that it could be that it happened again, because every single time when we learn, we get better and we don't do the same thing again. But if we do not learn from failure, it's a high chance that we will fail exactly the same way again. So we need to learn from failures. We need to reflect on them, that we could really take out all the benefits out of it and really use in the future. And the last one is impact on decision making. Impact on decision making. This is very, very important as well, because that's part of missing opportunities is part of decision making. So that when we see opportunity, we decide to take it or not to take. When we want to build something, we decide, we choose. So that means that loss, that failure, that mistake could lead to really start making different decisions, because our confidence is lower, our self-image is different, lower. So decision-making process probably will be lower quality as well because of that. So that means we need to be very, very careful to really not allow those tiny failures to take control of our confidence. But because every single time when you take a failure, when you make a mistake, when you make a failure, and you really fail, the most important part is to say that I'm learned, I'm proved, I got better. And you use that failure to boost your confidence rather than to decrease your confidence. That could allow you to make better decisions. So every single failure is supposed to boost your energy, because most people didn't pursue that. Most people didn't fail. Most people live the most comfortable life as possible. You are pursuing something. You are failing. You're improving. You are boosting your confidence because of that. So many people are afraid to take action, afraid to take mistakes, to really work on their dreams. But you are not. You are working towards them. And you're supposed to be appreciative of yourself and really say that I'm okay of making mistakes, because I know that I'm working towards a vision that matters. And of course, that's supposed to really allow you to think about tiny failures as a small stepping stones towards your success rather than destroying something that you build. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.